Good morning and welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another Monday morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. The weather's getting cooler, really enjoying this. Evenings are getting a lot nicer, being able to sit outside on the back patio. Got a lot of work done around the house today, or actually this weekend. My mother-in-law is coming in to visit us for about a week and a half, so looking forward to that. Got the honey-do list done over the weekend, so that was a huge help, getting things in order. Couple struggles I had is trying to hang a couple ceiling fans on the back patio. I can hang a ceiling fan, but these two locations had can lights in them, and that's what I'm trying to switch out. So I reached out to a couple electricians, got someone coming out tomorrow to fix it for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't just call anybody or a handyman. I want a licensed electrician. I want someone to do it right. Last thing I need to do is have my house burned down because I hired some guy that thought he knew how to do it and probably charges just as much as a licensed contractor. That's one thing I want to talk about here for a minute is hiring the right contractor, hiring someone who's licensed, bonded, and insured. And I know every state has different requirements for how businesses are set up. Here in the state of Arizona, you must be licensed, bonded, and insured through the state of Arizona. It's a requirement. Some people say, oh, that's not good. It keeps businesses back. I'm on the other side of it thinking it's a great thing for us. It keeps all the fly-by-night guys out of the mix of it. It levels the playing field a little bit better. I see a lot of these. I'm on a painter's chat room and on Facebook, which is a great forum for people to talk about issues in our industry. And it seems like I notice a lot of the comments and a lot of things that are stated on there. You know, guys are upset with the way the industry's going and what's happening. And I see some of these other states, you can pick up a paintbrush and a bucket and you're a painting contractor. And who's going to monitor that industry and make sure it's being done right and the customers being taken care of? So here in the state of Arizona, being licensed, bonded, insured ensures the fact that I'm competing against like-minded people, equal businesses. The playing field's a lot more level. It makes it better for when we're bidding on the bigger jobs. Now, when it comes to residential, when we used to do mostly residential painting, it really shocked me how many people I was bidding against. And there is a lot out there. And for the average homeowner, some of these people just want the cheapest, best price they can get. They want quality. They're not going to tell you that in the beginning. They just want the best, cheapest price you can do it. And then as you go through the job, then they're going to complain and then they want everything perfect. And, you know, they want it to look like they spent $1 million on it, not realizing they hit you in the beginning to lower your price, to give them the best price and compared you against everybody else. The one thing I always told people when I was bidding a job and I'd go in on an exterior repaint on a small exterior stucco house out here in Arizona, and let's say I'm $4,000. And that's my price I quoted. I'd write up the proposal and they would come back, oh, no, that's too much. I got a guy for $1,800. I'm trying to see if I can get it cheaper. The first comment I would always tell the homeowner was, oh, so you don't want somebody licensed, bonded, insured in case they fall off a ladder and get hurt and break an arm and they sue your homeowner's insurance? Just to throw that little bit of doubt in them. Because we're in business for a reason. We're in business to protect ourselves, to protect the customer, make sure they're getting the quality that they deserve, the right work that's supposed to be performed. We write up a contract for every job that we do. Now, on the residential side, if we're doing that, which we don't anymore, we're mostly commercial and industrial. On the residential side, we would write up our own proposal and our own contract. Now, in today with the commercial and industrial side, typically the contract comes from the general contractor. It can be anywhere from 3 pages to 300 pages, depends on what we're doing and how big of a project it is and what it entails. So for us, what we're looking at when it comes to these jobs is we are going to follow the contract. We read through every contract before we sign it, because what if in that proposal that we sent to the general contractor in our pricing did not include, let's say, painting of the bollards, safety bollards on the property? Now, I've seen some of these warehouses we do, you could have anywhere from 100 to 500 extra bollards on a job site like that, depending on what you're looking at. If you miss that on your bid and it is slipped in the contract and it says painting of bollards, and you come back at them and say, well, no, we didn't bid that. Well, you signed this contract. It's listed in there. They can hold me to that. That means I am now painting all those bollards at my cost. It's coming out of my profit on that project. That can add up to a lot. So we read everything that we're doing. We read through the contract. We make sure that if there's any discrepancies, anything wrong in there, we're going to redline it and send it back, or we'll discuss it. So for our company, what we do when we land a job, so let's say our estimators bid the job, they send it off, they make their follow-up calls, and then all of a sudden we get a contract coming through. Now that the contract comes through, that contract is read over by the estimator, make sure that he had everything included in it. Then it goes to the project manager. The project manager and the senior project manager will sit down. They will either do a Zoom call or phone call with the general contractor. They'll go over everything, all the details, the schedule for that job. We go over everything in that contract before we even sign it. That way, if there's any changes, anything that got missed on both ends, on our end or the general contractors, we can take care of it at that point. Then we sign it. We send it off. Then we start with our submittals. So there's a whole process we go through before we even start the job. Once the contract's signed, then it goes to the assistant project manager. Assistant project manager is working on the submittals with the paint store. Let's say it's Sherwin-Williams paints. They're getting drawdowns of whatever colors are being used on that job. All that's being put together. It's being submitted to the general contractor with enough copies to give to the owners, the architects, everybody. So once we have that, then we open up a job account with the vendor, Sherwin-Williams. We do it in a certain amount that we think the supplies are going to cost in that job. Then that job might even not start for another month to 6 months. So there's work involved during that time, not a lot, but over a period of time where we'll go out and we'll assess the project. We'll send somebody out there, project manager, assistant project manager, take pictures, upload them in our system. That way we can look at the project, see what's going on, see it in the phases. We start by meeting the superintendent on the job site. There's a whole process that goes into this project before we ever even put painters on the job site. 6 months down the road, hours and hours and hours involved in this, and game planning on how we're going to run the project, who we're putting on the project. Do we need to rent a Connex to store materials out there? Do we need scissor lifts or booms? What products are we going to use? How much manpower? What's the time frame it has to get done in? Currently, right now, our company has 130 active jobs going on. That's where we're at. That's quite a bit of work. Knowing we have 130 active projects, that's not even including all the ones that are up and coming that we have signed contracts on that aren't even in the mix yet. That's just what is currently on the plate being performed today. Now, that doesn't mean we're on those jobs today, all of them. There could be some we pull off for a week or two because we're waiting on other trades, or they're active but we're completed. We're waiting on a punch list to go back for touch-ups. That is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Knowing this, there's a whole process. So when the painters get there and the superintendent's on the job site, now the superintendent already has a pre-job meeting with the superintendent of the general contractor, as well as in our office with the project managers and estimators on each job that he's doing. By the time he gets to the job and he gets out there and he's got his materials, he's got his equipment, he's got everything on a job site, day one, he meets with the crew leader and he's walking through with the crew leader and the paint crew that's going to be on that job, and he's explaining what needs to be done. I can't begin to tell you how many times we've walked on a job like this and we will have a painter say, well, what if we did it this way? Or what about this? And the thing you have to realize when you walk on a job site like this, we've already pre-gamed, we pre-planned for this for months on end. You don't realize how much goes into just one project to get that job up and running. And on a day like today, being Monday, and it's interesting, we always record on a Monday. Today, I had 7 people not show up to work today. What does that 7 people not showing up to work today do to that game plan that we've had months on end, figuring out what we need, the manpower we need, everything. And on day one, we've got people not showing up. Now, regardless of the excuse, it doesn't matter. It could be a flat tire. It could be I'm sick, or I had a bad weekend, or, I had one today. Girlfriend broke up with me. I'm not making it to work. I'm sorry. I don't have time for that. We run a business. We have to be there every single day. And I get that people get sick. I get that people need time off. But when it is continually, when I look at the history of our company, the two most popular days for people to call off is Monday and Friday. I don't know what it is with that. I know back in the day when I was growing up, we used to call Mondays the brown bottle flu. People wouldn't show up, whatever the case. They drank too much that weekend. I get that you have a personal stuff going on and you need time. But when we're running a business and we're looking for the right people to work for us, and if you're one of the ones that continually calls out every single Monday, we have one right now that we're questioning. This person calls out every other Monday consistently. Now, when you become trackable like that or habitual, doing the same thing over and over, it makes us wonder about you, your work ethic. Are you going to show up? What jobs are we going to put you on? We can't rely on you. We're looking for reliable people. We're looking for people that are going to show up every day, show up and put out. I'm looking for that beast mode. I'm looking for the ones that want to work and have good work ethic. Where are they? That's what we're looking for. And so those people become the bottom 30% of our company, that constant revolving door. We will always run an ad every single Monday. We're always looking for better workers. We're always looking for better employees, better painters. That should be the nature of any business owner out there. You're running an ad every week looking for better people. Always. But I'm also going to invest all my time in the top 30%. That's where I'm going to invest my energy, my training, what I'm looking for. Now, you got your middle 30%. They're floating by, and we've talked about this before. But what is happening out there with the work ethic with people nowadays? And the ones that are calling off, the ones that are missing, are typically the ones complaining that they can't get ahead or they don't have a full paycheck every week. Nobody's doing it to you but you. You have to change your situation. So stop calling out and show up to work and grind. That's what it takes. You're never going to get ahead unless you want to get ahead and you force yourself to do it. You have to force yourself to be inconvenient. You want inconvenience in your life to get better, for a change, to have something more. It doesn't just drop in your lap. You can go out and buy a lottery ticket every day that the lottery is playing for the rest of your life. You're never going to win. But if you're banking on that, that's your one win that's going to help you get ahead. It's not going to happen. You have to make it happen for yourself. Your destiny depends on you. What you do in your life, in your business, in your workday depends on you and nobody else. What are you going to do to change that? I know what I have to do. I have to show up every day. I have to put out every day. There is no second best. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to leave you in my dust. I'm going to move forward, and you're either on this train, you're on this ride with me, you're in beast mode, you're willing to better yourself, or you're willing to try something new and become better and make more money with me. We're going to do it together. But if you're not on my train, get off, because we don't have time for it. We're looking for the best of the best. That's what it means to be in beast mode. You know, you hear me say stay hungry almost every episode at the very end. I'm hungry for more. I want something bigger, something better. That's what we're looking for. And if you want to be on that train with me, let's go. We're going to make it a ride. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a struggle, and you will be inconvenienced. But that's what makes us better. If not, be weak. Call out. Don't show up. Do your own thing. You're never going to make it ahead. And you're always going to wonder why you can't get anything better out of life. It starts internally with us. And it starts in the workforce. It starts by making a change. But John, I don't make enough money. Work more hours, grind, show them you want more money. Stop looking at the clock and focus on the work. When you can stop looking at the clock and worried about what you're making an hour, that's when it changes. Your situation will change if you stop looking at the clock and how much you make an hour. Just grind and force. And if you work 40 hours a week and you're not making it and you're doing everything you can, get another job. Work a part-time job. Find a side hustle. Find something else. I've got a guy working for me, and I'm going to give him a shout out right now, Chad, who works for me. He's been with me for, I think, a little over 2 years, and he was in a bad situation. Never had a job in his life, never had a driver's license. No one ever gave him a chance. Was homeless for many years. He's now been working for me full-time for 2 years. Has his driver's license, drives a company truck, landed his first side job ever. And he called me Friday night and he goes, John, I'm nervous. I got butterflies in my stomach. I'm doing this job tomorrow. I don't know what to do. And I'm just worried. And I talked him through it and I told him what it was like for my first side job when I did it before I ever started this business, what was involved with it, what happened, and the win at the end of the job, the money that was in my pocket. Now, that was Friday evening. He had, I think, maybe 1 or 2 guys working with him, paid them, bought his materials. He called me up last night, and Saturday night, he made more in that one day than he does all week working for me. And he was so excited. And while he was there, the lady he did the job for had a couple friends there, and they got his name and number. And now there's a potential for more work. Now, the one thing we talked about was don't start doing all the side work and blow off your regular job. You need that weekly paycheck because the side work comes and goes. It's not going to be there forever. But the excitement in his voice and the joy in his voice that he had, knowing that he made more in one day than he does working for me in a week, was amazing. I remember those days. It was a joy to hear his story and the excitement and what he told me and how well it went. He walked me through the whole process of what he went through during the day. And for me, that's exciting. I hope one day that Chad is my competition and he starts his own business. That's my hopes. I'm good with that. But I want to teach him everything I can to get him to the level that I'm at. I want to raise the bar and raise the level for everybody out there who works for me. If they want to start something on their own and create their own business, more power to them. I want them to have that opportunity, but I want them to do it the right way. And I want them to be successful at it. But I want them to be successful. I want to share in their success, their joy, their triumphs. That's what it's about for me. You know, there was a time where it was all about the money. There was a time where, you know, I wanted to crush all the competition out there. And I wanted to take all the work from every other contractor out there. What I realized, though, is there's so much work out there, it's never going to happen. We will grow. We will get bigger. There's a lot of companies that fold and shut down. We can take their work. But if we can get everybody to a better level, everybody that's working for the greater good of doing the best job possible out there, we're all in business to make money. We have to. But if we can grow at this and we can help uplift other people within this business, and that's any trade, I want my people to be successful. I want to know what their financial goals are. I want to know what they're trying to accomplish in their life so I can help them get there. My first customer is my employees, and I have to help them. And listening to Chad, listening to his story, the excitement, the nervousness the night before, and watching that progression of where he's come from and where he's going, it's amazing. It is amazing to watch this person just flourish and grow every single day. And anybody who doubted him and said he couldn't make it, he's proven them wrong. There's going to be people out there that talk about you, hate you. They talk about our company. We run an ad every Monday. I get replies from it, and oh, look at you guys. You need to change your management. You need to do something different. You can't retain employees. No, it's not the case. We're just revolving that bottom 30%. We're getting rid of all the dead weight. And we have a little bit of dead weight. Today, 7 people not showing up. That's some dead weight right there. But what does that do to our jobs that are currently active and working? What does that show me about the people that called out sick or called out, period? Now I'm going to start looking at their names. Now I'm going to start looking at and tracking how they're calling out, when they're calling out. You know, I know right now with our CRM program, you know, that we use, it tracks their hours, tracks everything. I almost need a second piece added to it that I can pull up each person's name and know exactly, click on it, know when they called out, what they called out for. You know, it would be ideal to track this, to have a better idea of what's going on so we can nip it in the bud before it gets too far out of control. Maybe all it takes is a conversation with these people, pulling them aside and saying, hey, what's going on? What can we do to help you so you don't call out on a Monday? Maybe it's getting their kids to the bus. Maybe there's something else going on that we could help out with and assist with. I don't know. But we're going to figure out how to make this work. We'll help them. And if they don't want help, we're going to replace them. It's as simple as that. We want the best of the best. But at the same time, I had a guy come in last week looking for a job. Oh, he claimed he was the best painter I'll ever had. Some reason his name rang a bell, and I looked him up, and he actually worked for us back in 2020. And at that time, I looked at what he was making. I read the notes why he was let go and, you know, the money he was asking for. And now, supposedly, he's licensed, bond insured, has his own company, but he's struggling finding good help and doesn't have anybody showing up to work, but he loves painting. But he didn't want to come on as a painter. He wanted to be a crew leader or superintendent with us. I said, well, here's the information on you from 2020. And looking at the notes and just the way you're sitting here talking and the way you came across, I'm like, I don't think we're going to be a good fit with you. And that's okay. Not every company is going to be a good fit for you, and you're not going to be a good fit for every company. You got to find the right place. So I said at this time, I don't think I'm going to hire you. I don't think we'd be a good fit. And he got upset and he goes, you don't know what you're losing here. I'm the best painter you'll ever have. And well, I guess I'm just going to go out there and be your competition now. And I just laughed. And I said, you know what? You are not my competition. No one is my competition except for me. I'm my own worst enemy. I'm competing against myself. It's me versus me. I will create my own destiny. I'm going to create situations for us to land more jobs. Yes, there's competition out there. And yes, we do bid against others. We're not going to land every job. I don't expect to. If I was landing every job, I'm probably too cheap or something's going wrong. I need to reevaluate everything. But thinking about his response and how he walked out of there with an attitude and angry and telling me how he's going to be my competition, but yet he's struggling running his own business. He can't maintain just 2 painters working for him. That's not my competition. And anybody at that level will not be my competition. But what that is current painters working for me that want to start their own thing would be at that level. They will be his competition. And if they work for me and I can train them and teach them how to run a business, how to do it the right way, they will put guys like that out of business that probably shouldn't be in business for themselves. It amazes me how many people get taken advantage out there as homeowners on the residential side and give contractors a bad reputation. And I think the ones that give us the bad reputation are the ones that are unlicensed that these people hire, or they're guys that barely got their license, they're squeaking by, but they're cheating the whole time, not paying their taxes, not paying their guys through and the right way. You know, we run everything through a payroll company. We do everything up and up. It has to be. That's a way you run a legitimate business. So as you guys go out there and you think about, oh, I want to start my own thing, it's one thing to do a side job. It's one thing to make a little extra cash for a friend or a family member, or somebody asks you to paint their house on the weekend. That's one thing. But as you get out there and you start doing it for a living, it starts to become a day-to-day thing, and it becomes your full-time job eventually, because that's how I started. I started doing side jobs, and then it became a legitimate business. There's a certain path and a certain way to do it. There's a right way and the wrong way. Make sure you're making the right choices out there. You know, there's a lot of people that reach out to me because of this podcast, because of social media, people that have previously worked for me that are now licensed and running their own businesses. I still mentor them. I still talk to them. I help them go the right direction. The ones that follow the directions, the ones that follow the recipe are the most successful. But there's always the ones that they listen to enough, they think they get enough from me, and then they go off and do their own thing and it fails. They crash and burn. They don't realize that there's so much more involved in this. Running your own business is a 24/7 job. It's not something you're going to do part-time. It's not something that, I'm going to take the weekends off. No. When I was doing side jobs and starting to create my own business, it was a 7-day-a-week job. Until I could hire certain people during the beginning, I was painting Monday through Friday. All my bids were on Saturday and Sunday. We were doing residential. That's how I had to make it work. I was not only bidding the jobs, supervising jobs, and working on the jobs. As we grew in each step, as we got bigger and more work, added more people. That's how you do it, but it's a step-by-step process. You don't just open up your doors and you got 50 employees working for you. Not in this industry. It starts small and you grow into it, unless you buy an existing business. And I've got a couple buddies that have done that in the past. That's one way to start. But if you're going to run your own business, you do it the right way. Treat people the right way. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's first and utmost. Treat your employees the way you want to be treated. And when you're bidding these jobs for your customers, whatever the case is, whether it's a side job or you're doing it as a business, make sure that you underpromise and overdeliver. Give more than you tell them you're giving. Make it better than what you're giving it to them. When we were doing residentials and we're going to pressure wash the house, I always brought my own hoses, but if they had one hooked up, I would use theirs. If it was unraveled and all over the place when we were done, we rolled it up. We put it nicer than the way we left it. We always left every place better than the way we found it. We fixed more stuff than what we needed to. We painted more stuff than what we needed to. You know, it's people don't realize how much goes into painting just one bedroom, the supplies you need, what it takes. Someone might be charging you a certain amount for the bedroom and you're trying to get it cheaper, but you don't realize that person has to go pick up the paint. They met you for the color selection. They met you for the proposal. There's so much involved. It's not just get in there and paint. There's so much more involved. If you're a homeowner out there, if you're not in this industry, if you're in something else and you're just following this for workforce skills to become a better person, better employee, realize when you hire somebody, what's involved in that. What is your time worth? What is their time worth? Why should your time be worth any more than the person coming in your house working? But realize what they had to do just to get there, to get it set up. How long did they have to wait at the paint store for that paint to get made up? How many hours are involved in that project before they even got there? It's the same with us on every job that we do. There's hours and hours and hours involved with every single project. And we're always looking for ways to become more efficient. We're always looking for ways to make it easier. One of our takeoff programs, we're now doing it not off of paper blueprints, but we're using a program that has an AI built into it, and it's on a computer, makes it 10 times faster. Our guys are becoming more efficient at it as they're learning this program, and it's working. So we're becoming more efficient on that end. We're always looking to train. We're always looking to become more efficient. And in that turn, we become more profitable. Our jobs over the last 3 months have slowly become more and more profitable as we continue with our training, as we continue with the changes within our business. I don't micromanage every position in a company. I hover over everything. I watch everything. I keep an eye on it all, but I don't micromanage. I want people to get in there. They're going to make mistakes. I want them to learn from the mistakes. Sometimes that's the best lesson for anything. But we also want to make it more efficient. So when we get on that job, or let's say I hire somebody that owned their own business to come work for us, but they were a lot smaller than us. How can I have somebody that ran a business that did less than $500,000 or less than $1 million a year for their business come tell me, who's running a multi-million-dollar paint company, how to run my business? I can't take advice from that person. I can listen. If I'm going to learn, I'm going to go to somebody else that's already been there, bigger than me and better, and take their advice. I want someone who's already been there and done it. That's where I'm going to get my advice. So if you're an employee and you're walking on a job today and your superintendent comes out and he's telling you what needs to be done, or the crew leader's talking about this and you're like, oh, no, I think I should do it this way, or this way would be faster and better, realize the amount of planning that went into that to get to that point. Learn the systems of the company you work for. Learn the process. Right now, we're creating a process for every process within the company. We're creating efficiency within our company. Every company has a process. In painting, there's multiple ways to do a job, as long as the end result is the same. But for us, we're trying to fine tune it. We're trying to become more efficient. We're trying to find the quickest, easiest way to do it. And as we grow and we get bigger and we add to our portfolio, we're becoming more and more efficient, and we know how it's supposed to be done. So as you go on board to a new company, learn their systems, learn how they do it. Just follow the direction. Become coachable. Don't walk in like you own the place. Don't walk in like you're going to tell everybody else how to paint. Oh, I've been doing it for 10 years. I know how to do this, and I'll show you new ways. No. Walk in and be open-minded. Walk into that company and be coachable. Listen to what they want you to do. Go perform it. You might learn something. Now, as you do it and you've found other ways to do it in the past or at other companies or projects, if you think there's something that would be a little more efficient, say, hey, I've been doing this way with you guys for a little bit, and I think I learned a different way somewhere else. Can I show you? Don't just come in and say, hey, we're going to do it this way. It's all about presentation. You don't want to come in a new company and rub people the wrong way. Like this guy coming in and telling me what he wanted, how he's going to do it, he's going to be my best painter. That's the wrong impression. You don't come across the right way. So think about how you're going to present yourself when you walk into the workplace. Yes, you've done this for a long time, but how long has this company been there? And how are you, one person, going to go in and change a company that's been around forever, doing it forever, and making money, and they're profitable and has a proven track record? Maybe you're the one that can come there and learn. Hop on their train. Hop on the train, learn from them, grow with them, and excel with that company. That's all you got to do. That's what we're looking for. I'm looking for people who want to get on this ride and become something better, something bigger. And that's no matter what you're doing, what trade you're in, where you work, anywhere. I don't care if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, become better at it. McDonald's, think about this. I can make a better burger than McDonald's can. But yet, what does McDonald's do? They created a process. They created a process with consistency and make this exact same tasting burger every single time. That's what they did. McDonald's doesn't sell burgers. They sell a process and efficiency. They get you in and out of there as fast as they can. The more burgers they can turn over. It's a process. That's what they've created. That's what we're doing. We're creating a process within our company for everything that we do to make us more efficient. Yes, we paint. That's what we give the customer. But we're creating a process to make it smoother and faster and quicker. That's how we're growing. That's how we're getting bigger. It's not what we do, it's how we do it. So start thinking about what you're doing in your day-to-day activities. Is it what you're doing or is it how you're doing it that can become better? Look at the process. I think sometimes we become so stubborn, we think, oh, my way is the only way, or I've been doing it this way forever. I'm not going to change. Sometimes you can teach an old dog new tricks. I'm in the process with that. Right now with the blueprint side of it, we went from paper to the online version. It's a struggle for me. But it's the change. It's the way of the future. It's what we have to do. We have to grow. So in order for us to grow, in order for us to become better, sometimes we have to listen to others around us. Sometimes we have to follow others around us. So as you're out there in your work today, think about what you're doing. Think about what the company requires you. And the bottom line is, it's not your company if you're an employee there. Somebody else signed your paycheck, not you. Until you sign your own paycheck, you have to follow directions. You have to follow their process. You can make suggestions, but you're on their train. Get on the ride and become efficient at it. Do what's expected of you and grow within that company. We've got guys working for us that have been here 2-3 years and they're already project managers, superintendents, estimators. We grow within our company. They followed our process. They followed our direction, and they're excelling with the company, and they're getting better every single day and making more money. And then the ones that come on board that want to change it, do their own thing, they're not here anymore. They're gone. You can look around your workplace today, and you can see the exact same thing. Think about it. Think about the people that have come and gone if you're still there. Why are you still there and they're not? That's what you have to look at, because you're following the process. You're doing what it takes within that company. So as you go through your work week this week, I want you to think about how you can make a change by following the process. What do you need to do to help yourself out within that company? Once again, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here and following me. Stay hungry.